Hey guys, welcome to What You Say Poet. I'm your host, JRose. I'm back in the building. We took a couple weeks off, but don't worry, we are here live and direct on Facebook and YouTube at the Rose Garden events. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and all that good shit. I'm really excited about today's guest. This is our last episode of 2020, and we are going out with a bang. We have a legendary poet. Before I get into who I have, I mean, there's a hint down there, but shh. All right. But I want to do something a little different and as an intro. Those of you that know me personally know that I am dealing with a recent loss of a very close friend who suddenly passed away yesterday, Miss Ashanti, the boss, Middleton. She has been such an amazing influence in my life personally, as an entrepreneur, as a woman. She supported so many of my dreams. She was a cheerleader for me. She's everybody's cheerleader. Like the moment you would meet Ashanti, she's like in your corner pushing you and cheering for you. And it's truly it's just so sad that we lost an angel walking on this earth. I am devastated. Our sisterhood is devastated. A lot of us are really struggling to mourn this loss. It really took a lot for me to even do the show tonight because I've been struggling with this so much. So I just want to do some honors. I just want to honor her life and everything that she brought to the table while she walked this earth. So I do want to have a moment of silence for our girl Ashanti. Thank you guys so much for respecting that. I pray that Ashanti's resting peacefully. I know she's watching over us. I pray for her family, her wife, all of the friends, everybody that has encountered Ashanti Middleton. We are all mourning and we love you. To say that you will be missed is truly an understatement. There's definitely a void on this earth from now on. So without further ado, we're going to switch up the tone because I don't want to be sad. I'm actually really happy to be talking with today's guest. She is a legend poet, a community activist. She's done music with The Roots and a whole bunch of other credible artists out there. She is a true voice for Philadelphia. She's been in the game for a minute. So please, without further ado, let's welcome our guest for today, Ms. Ursula Rucker. Yay! Welcome, Queen. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so sorry to hear about your sister friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I am so honored to have you here. The first time I was linked to even connect with you was like I was geeking out. I talked to you on the phone and I was like, all right, JRose, be cool, like stay calm, like don't be fangirling. But I was like super hyped and nervous to speak to you. But luckily you're mad cool. You are a human.
Where are all the humans?
I don't know. Can we start a club, a Facebook group? Where are the humans?
Right. We should.
But I thank you. I welcome you. I really want to get into a lot of the stuff that you have going on right now. You recently dropped is this your first poetry book, right?
Yes, so it's a little chap book, right? So it's a prequel to like having a full book of poems, but it matters. It's important to me. It's like, and I love little like loving boutique type art projects. Like
yes.
I love that kind of stuff. But anyways, in my hand right here.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
They all come in this little sweet rice paper. Look, which way? This way.
Yeah,
rice paper envelope, with a little button with one of my haikus on it.
Oh, big small poems for your pockets. I love it.
Big Small Poems for Pockets, haikus by Ursula Rucker, and they all came with this little button.
Oh, you got the whole like set, the whole thing going.
Dude, that is so sweet.
So I want to know, because you've been writing, you've been doing this for over 20 years, right? So what made you finally put out a book? Because you've done albums, you got into music. So why are you doing a book? We've been waiting for this book. I'm sure the whole world's been waiting for this book for like over a decade. What made you finally say, I'm gonna do this book?
I didn't. Somebody came to me with it. I can't lie.
There you go.
Look, it was at the time of COVID, right? A homie that used to work at the label that put out my first 3 albums, Noah. We were in touch. We got back in touch, after many years not being in touch. And, he said he does this from time to time, does a little sweet art, love, heart project. And he said, hey, what about a chapbook? And I'm like, all right, how could we do it? I'm like, what about a haiku chapbook, And, yeah, all right, 15 haiku. We went back and forth. How many haikus should it be? 12?
Yeah, like, what's the number? Like
15, just one on each page. It's so special and just so I just love it.
We're like glowing from this. Now, mind you, those of you watching, the book is sold out. Okay. When did you release this book?
12 noon.
12. Okay. The book released 8 hours ago, and it is sold out.
There were only 200. The first run is only 200, and
so you only sold 200 books in 8 hours. That's it. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I'm like, but we're going to, it's going to be a second run. But what I was really excited about too is that, a lifelong dream all the time, moving forward, always is to always be able to help others, to have more means and ways and resources to help myself and others, right? So the proceeds from this first run, all of the proceeds go to Girls Justice League here in Philly, which is a nonprofit organization that works to give young women and femmes space and place. You know what I mean? Like resources. Creative opportunities, all kinds of things, And so I did a couple things with them, and the woman that is the executive director is like a good friend of mine, and so I was like, oh, it's gonna be Girls Justice League that gets and it's like it's actually it happened, like they're all sold out, and all this money goes to Girls Justice League, and now they'll get to bump their summer program up just a little bit.
Yeah,
make it a little bit easier on them.
How did you come up with a way to incorporate, doing your art and, loving, being in your craft, but then also like combining that with like helping your community and your community activism? How are you able to like put that together?
That's such a good question, sis. That's a good question. I think it's something that, I don't know. I guess I would like to ask other artists who also participate in activism and trauma healing through their art, how they came about it. Was it like a pointed, planned type of thing? Because for me, this was like in what I discovered about myself.
Yeah. It was like organic. It was like, yeah.
That's kind of how I like everything to go. Like I really believe in the divinity of organics and just that's what going with the flow is, really.
Yeah.
It's like going with divine organics is what it really is. So
yeah,
I really like that, and I love it when I do it, and I'm paying attention, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to just ride the wave on this one.
Yeah, you trust the process in a way.
Not all the time, though.
You be questioning that shit sometimes. Like
I'm a bird. Question everything.
I want you. You've had the amazing experience to grace stages all over the world and share your art all over the world, like Europe. I mean, I saw in your bio like Australia. Like you've just been everywhere. Yeah. So how did you find those opportunities? Because I know there's a lot of poets out there that would love to follow that path. So how are you able to put yourself in a position where you receive those opportunities?
I love your questions. You a journalism major or something?
Nah, I just do this.
I have a degree in journalism, so I always like know, like my sensor goes up when it's like journalistic type questions.
Shoot. I'm gonna have to add that to my.
These are good questions. Ask me it again. It's about performing. What is it specifically again?
But like, how are you able to get these opportunities to grace like these stages worldwide? Because a lot of poets, you know, they work their asses off, but they usually stay locally. So how are you able to just push that, you know, push through that door and step into like another country to share your work?
Yo, I don't know if anybody's ever asked me this question. Well, this way.
Do people like just go up to you and they're like, "You're amazing. Come to my country." Like, is that how it happens?
You got me thinking now. It happens all kinds of ways, but once again though, it's opening up, you know, to where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do when you're on that path. So that's kind of how you like saying yes. That's like knowing when to say yes, because a lot of shit you got to say no to. So yeah, you know, like knowing when to say yes. Is this the right thing for me to do? Or maybe it's not, but I'm still going to learn some shit that's going to, you know, propel me. So, yeah, just showing up for yourself. That's how me showing up.
People tell me that.
You know what I mean? Like, every time I showed up for myself, a little bit more would happen, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. So, yeah, show up for your fucking self, all right?
Facts. Now there was something in your bio that like was really interesting, and only because I'm a big ass hip hop head. And you got to work with the Roots. Now you're from Philly, they're from Philly. Like, what was that like to work on a project with them?
Working with your homies.
Yeah.
No, it's not nothing. It's like, you know, when you're doing it, you're like, this is my homies.
Oh my God. Did y'all like grow up together, I guess, in the scene?
Yeah, like in the early like 20s. Like, I mean, I'm older, a little older than them, but yeah, in our like formidable years, hanging out at the club, partying together, you know, hanging out together, supporting them. I remember when they had a performance at some restaurant downtown in Philly that was real cool. The way it was set up, it was real. The way it was laid out, had like a stage on the balcony or whatever. I don't know. And they did like a performance to like promote their cassette. They're like
their tape.
I still got that, John, too. I still got that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were the girls, you know, but that's where we started. Just like hanging out, everybody supporting each other and just hanging out. And, hey, you want to do this? Okay, cool. Like it really was like that. And then once you're doing it, once you've done it, like, you know, when I recorded that first thing with the Roots, after I recorded it, you know, and then when it was out, really until it was out, sis, not until it was out did I really understand what I had done.
Ooh.
Because I was just caught in the moment.
Yeah, you're just creating.
Yeah, but Amir really, I must say, like Amir asked me to write that piece, to do that piece, and it really invited me to check myself on censoring myself, and so I didn't. And what I did was just go full force.
Yeah,
and myself back, and that was like the first time, and so I haven't looked back since. Like I never look back now. Yeah.
Is it easy for you to when someone initiates a project for you and they're like, hey, can you write a piece about this or for this?
Yeah.
Like, how do you get into a headspace to write for somebody else's theme?
Yo, let it be known, JRose got the best questions. You need to come on her show, let her talk to you and ask you some questions about your shit that gets you thinking about your own shit.
I just be wondering.
Yeah, ask that brilliant question again. I want to hear it.
It's hard for me. It's hard. Like when somebody, like even right now, I have a project that someone wants me to write about what the holidays means to me, and I don't normally write about that. So I, as a writer, I'm struggling to like put myself in the space to write about something I don't usually write about. Like, so like Do you ever go through that?
Such a good question. Like I'm on my own spot because nobody ever asked me this. So I'm like, how do I answer this? I do this all the time. You know, I'm always essentially, you know, I have so many collaborations. You know, I have more collaborations than I have solo projects, you know. So collaboration is such a huge part of my life. It's what started my recording.
Really?
Collaboration, yeah, with King Britt. That was the first
that was the first one.
Yeah, and a jazz musician named Jamaluddin Takuma here, also kind of like around the same time. But it's such a good question. I don't know. I mean, it depends on what it is, you know. If it's something with music, then I kind of let the music guide me, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll ask me to do a certain thing. Like, okay, for the Unlocking, the first poem for the Roots, you know, he was like, hey, can you write a poem about a woman who's been gangbanged? I'm like, you tripping.
Yeah, like how do you even get into that space? Like,
because I am the type of I write from like something, something that I've experienced of it. You know, either I experienced somebody's story, them telling me the story, or I went through it myself, or so I had to really dig deep for that one, you know. So I just likened it to like being this is my phrase, that I was gangbanged in conversation. I had found out that, you know, somebody that I was seeing had went and sat around in a room full of homies and told our business and what we did, and we were grown. And I was like,
maybe you flipped the whole.
Yeah. So then I took that and then I told the story. So you know, with music, it's different, but yeah, like you have to do that. You have to look at it as a challenge, you know, to make your shit better, to get your chops up and make you masterful at your shit. So when people ask you, look, Letty is like my babies.
Hi, Letty.
We love you.
Definitely love you. That's the fam right there.
Yeah, so like I love it, sis. When people act like projects, working on projects collaboratively with people used to be so difficult for me.
Really?
I was a lone wolf. Back in the day.
How'd you break out of that? How'd you open yourself up to collaborating with people?
Showing up for myself.
Yeah.
This is the theme, you know, just pushing myself. You know what? Missing out on shit and getting that feeling.
Oh. That hurts because we sensitive about our shit, right? And if you don't we're not included in something, we'd be like, damn.
Or if you turned it down because you were too afraid and you didn't want the challenge, and then it rolls out and it's so fly, and you're like, oh shit, I really messed up. And then you learn that lesson over and over again until you get it, until it's locked. Then I'm telling you, then you have like a sensory perception of what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and how you should do it. But yeah, collaborations, they grow you. So I definitely advise artists to do collaborative works. Like you know, foster their solo shit if that's what they do. That, pay attention to that. But the collaborative shit will make the solo shit all the more. You learn how to work with people, and you learn how to do things that aren't necessarily your idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like you know, as artists, sometimes we like to have that ownership of the idea, you know, that credit. So like sometimes you got to humble yourself and be like, you don't have all the ideas. There's other people out there with great ideas.
Being part of the idea and helping the idea come to fruition is really important. So like learn about that part too, because you're gonna learn a lot from that.
What do you think for you as a poet is like one of your proudest moments? Like for you to look back and be like, wow, I did that as a poet.
I love every single question. So much. I'm blessed. You know, it's
give me like 2 or 3 because you got a long rap sheet. So.
Okay. I'll just off the top of the dome. My first album, Super Sister. That's my baby. That's like, what? I'm doing an album? Whoa. Wait, hold on. My whole own fucking album of poetry with music?
And that wasn't even like a thing then. Like now it's super popular within the poetry. That wasn't a thing then. You were a pioneer.
Thank you for that. But there are many who went before me doing that, but still kind of obscure, So like,
yeah, I feel like it just wasn't a popular thing though. It never really was until like now that I see.
Yeah, so that alone, that's like what I couldn't believe that somebody was like, "Going, let me do this."
Yeah, yeah.
Like what? So like making it and everything was just like, I'll never forget it. I wish I could have that brand new, fresh feeling.
Yeah.
Every time we do a new album, it's still a brand new, fresh feeling,
Yeah, yeah. But the first one always has like that special.
Yeah. So yeah, but then the second one was my mural here in Philly. When my homie, my now homie Chip Thomas, aka Jetson Orama, amazing human being.
Yes.
Medical doctor on a Navajo reservation in northern Arizona, photographer, renegade street artist and activist. Okay, this brother does all that.
You had me at like doctor for the Navajo. Like anything else after that is like
he's amazing. And so he came. He's a fan of my music. He was like, "Hey, I'm doing this project in Philly." Blah blah blah. And then it just all of a sudden it was happening, and then it was up on the wall, and then I was like. And it just changed my life.
That's me.
And yeah, it's not there anymore because of gentrification. And it's street art, right? Street art is temporal. So I'm okay. I'm okay. No,
I don't know. I get like I take street art very personal.
I know I have to be like I had to, like if I wasn't okay, then I wasn't going to be okay. You know what I mean? So I had to find some place where I could be okay. And that temporal nature of it and accepting that.
Yeah.
Something that I love, like when it was in decay, like it was falling apart because his technique is wheat paste. And so when it was in decay, it was still actually beautiful.
Beautiful, right?
It looked like I had tears here, like in my face.
Oh, like tears for your city?
Yeah, or whatever. Tears because my mural was going to be going. But yeah, that was like, I will also, and the love that it created. I got so much love. Everybody just the love and an excerpt from my poem, Love, was written on me. And that's what was on the wall. And it just fostered so much love. So it did exactly what we wanted it to do,
Yes. How do you like express your love for Philadelphia? Because you love Philly. Like you are a true Philly John. Like
I do. Oh, let me do something right quick then.
Yes.
I'll show you how I do it. Hold on.
That's what I was hoping for.
This is, let me just look it up. I know the hook by heart, but I don't know.
Enter Q in poem.
So it's called Ode to Philly. Since you asked or whatever.
Or whatever.
And it's it was part of another project that I'm really proud of, Monument Lab Project. And it's too much to explain. Just look it up, people. Monument Lab Project.
Got it.
I get to be a part of so many amazing projects. But anyway, I'll just do the first verse. I'll do the hook and the first verse because, yeah.
Share. Yes, we're here for it.
Like a bell named Liberty, let freedom ring. Even though cracked, she still manages to sing. Yay. Her sound resonates both far and wide, demonstrates how to be broken, but still have pride. That's the hook that I love.
Oh.
Wedding pics on broad while Billy watches over. Head nods mean hello, misunderstood is cold shoulders. Don't ever make assumptions before you get to know us. Cause the city sparkles bright even in the darkest shadows. Shadows. Like a bell named Liberty, let freedom ring. Even though cracked, she still manages to sing. Her sound resonates both far and wide, demonstrates how to be broken, but still have pride. And that's my city. That's my city. That's my city. A lot of people think like, oh, Philly, they rough, and we are.
Yo.
And it's dangerous, and it is. You know, a lot of people think we're just so broken, right? Shit is so broken. But yeah, though, it's something special here. It's something magical here, how we're able to take the brokenness and create magic. So yeah, I love my city for that. And I talk about my city and complain and criticize, and only I can do it. If you're not from here, don't come to me with no bullshit about my city.
Let them know. Let them know.
True or not, I don't care.
I was out there a couple weeks ago filming season 3 of the JRose Experience, and like being from New York, like you go to a hood, is a hood, like it's like any hood. Like I felt like I was in New York. I wasn't scared or anything like that. But I was with people that aren't used to being in the hood, so they were like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm like, "Relax." You know, yeah, they loud. It's loud everywhere. Come on. We in the Bronx right now. That's how it felt. You know,
right.
Exactly. Mad love though. People were like respectful. You know, nobody was like out of pocket or anything like that. Everybody said hello walking down the street. You know, people head nod. You know, it was all love. So I got mad love for Philly. It's a beautiful city. The street art is amazing. The culture is beautiful. Right now, you guys are dealing with a lot of community issues. You know, you mentioned gentrification. I feel like we all dealing with that. But it's a beautiful city. So shout out to Philly. I love y'all.
Not forget about how we helped with the election either, y'all.
Yo, I saw this funny meme where they were like zooming into Pennsylvania and it was red and they were playing Meek Mills. And then it was like, hold on, wait a minute. And then the state turned blue. And I was like, yes.
It was something to see. You could feel it. Like you could just feel it in the city. It was like,
how good, like what, describe that moment when you like were watching, you know, the elections and you saw that PA turned blue.
It like felt like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Like it was like that kind of similar feeling. Like, you know, like it like gives me the chills right now when I'm thinking about like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. It's just so much Philly pride. Like, because, you know, when you're from a place where people consider it, like I hate that underdog shit they always attach to us. I'm like,
I know.
Who the fuck is the underdog?
Right? Like, how did we get here?
Like, okay, but all right then, you know. But yeah, so it's very hard being in that position and feeling like, you know, Philly always feels like they, you know, we gotta prove shit. I don't think we have to prove anything, but you know, many feel like that, and I understand that, and that's a rough position to be in. So, you know, when that Philly pride is fostered, it's so important. And you know, like we had just had that rough hit with Walter Wallace Jr. being murdered. You know,
when I spoke to you, literally, I think a few days. That's when we first spoke, and I could hear it in your voice, like you could hear like your tiredness of like that. I'm tired of having to fight for this. Like I'm tired of this always happening. So how are you able to kind of like cope with that since all of this has happened? Like what's going on over there?
Yeah, it's a lot going on here. You know, I mean, it's hard for me to say it because I don't want people to know, but it is the truth. It's super violent. It's super violent here right now. You know, a lot of shootings, and but I want to talk about that because, you know, when we were speaking about art and activism earlier, that's one of my dreams to heal the young people in my city, to help heal my city, help the young people in my city, and help heal the young people in my city because they're hurting.
Yeah.
You know, they hurting, and they do some dumbass shit. You know, a lot of times it really comes because I've met a lot of these young people over the course of my life doing this work. So I've met and worked with young people like this. So I know, you know, it's a lot of I am that young person who experienced trauma and came from the dysfunctional household, and I blessedly made different choices, but
Yeah.
I have my moments, and I just didn't make those choices. But a lot of these young people make those choices to acquire guns and go out, and because they're hurt others, because that's all. And I'm not giving them an excuse. I'm just saying there is a lot of hurt to be addressed, and that's always going to be my mission until I'm just way too tired. That's the only way I won't do it, when I just get way too tired.
Yeah. If you had like an endless amount of like finances, what is something that you would do for Philadelphia?
Thank you. Oh, yo, you need to get an award. Where is the award?
Yo, let's speak into manifestation.
The best
Speak it into existence.
Ask in a virtual talk show, yo. You should have your own talk show, like for real.
I'm working on my show blowing up.
So the whole world knows JRose. Like, yo, JRose is so. I mean, yeah, I didn't mean to say this is real, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Don't worry, we're gonna blow up. JRose experience is gonna blow up.
Yeah. Wait, I forgot the question. What is it?
What would, if you had an endless amount of finance?
Okay.
What would you do for your city?
Ambition, the poet heart. JRose is amazing. She is.
Yes. Oh, Ambition. Listen, let me tell you, Ambition is a Philly poet. He's from Philly. I interviewed him actually for my second season of the JRose Experience in Atlanta. He happened to be in Atlanta, and I interviewed him out there. He's amazing. He is known as the foster care poet because he's a big advocate for foster care. Y'all should connect.
Look into you, Ambition. Okay. I love new things about new people.
Please tell me, what would you do for Philly if money wasn't even like a problem?
You know what I always hear playing in my head? If I rule the world.
Yes.
Right? That's my dream. That's my dream. Oh, thank you, Ambition. All right, I'm gonna look you up. Okay, I feel like this portal just opened. So let's
that's a fact. The portal just opened. I love it.
Let's look into this. Much love. Thank you.
For sure.
One of my ideas with my partner, who is a master contractor and brilliant genius visual artist, we have a dream that we talk about all the time, to have a house that we purchase and that we built to provide housing, because there are a lot of homeless teens here.
Yes.
Homeless, like young people in their early 20s and teens. And to provide housing and have it be art centered, build an art centered house, and provide housing and make art, the focal point, and just use art to like help and heal and build people's lives and give people a place to live. Like that's one of my dreams.
I love that. Especially with like, I don't know if it's like this in Philly, but in New York, like once you reach a certain age, that there's not a lot that the city will do for you, especially like in those early 20s. So there are a lot of young people in their early 20s that are homeless. There's, I have friends that are like transgender that deal with like homelessness because of, how they identify themselves. They go through all these struggles.
Nobody, no one should be homeless in this country. And least of all,
there's enough space.
Least of all, our young people, like our youth. Come on, like our brilliant, amazing, our youth need to be fed into. You know what I mean? Just like encouraged, nurtured, like, because we all got to work together. Like to have like a absurd number of homeless teens in one of the biggest cities in America is ridiculous.
It really is. It's such a disservice to the community and like the future of the community. And I love your art house idea, because art literally can help people's mental health. Now
that you asked me, this is the first time I ever said it out loud in public.
That's the first step to manifestation, sis.
Well, thank you for asking me. I feel a little excited about putting that out.
Okay, so let's build on this manifestation. This is a little practice that I do when I'm trying to manifest something. So like, what would the house look like? Like, how many floors would you have? You know, would you have like rooms with themes? Like, what do you imagine?
Yeah, well, you know, my partner is like an avant-garde type artist, so
Avant-garde.
it would just be so fun and fantastical and and cosmic and outer space like. And
Oh,
I would love it if the, you know, like young people, like I don't know how it would happen, how the young people would get chosen to live, you know, how all that would work, but then they could help with the building or maybe making of like some of the art pieces that are going to be in the house, or like if they don't help with the original building, there will always be the creating of art going on, you know, all the time that they participate in. So like art would be a focal point, invite artists that I know from all over the world, you know, or all over the place to come and do like come stay for a little while, do residencies at the, you know, like, so it's like,
oh, there's a plan here. There's a plan brewing. There's a plan brewing.
Housing, but it's actually like an art space too. Like I want an art space to be there, so they know this art life is possible. Like you can use art to do all kinds of things, and you can make it a lifestyle and a way of life, you know, a culture.
Listen, it sounds like a sanctuary. You know how they have like sanctuaries for these like wild animals? Like, you know, let's have a sanctuary for like our humans. Our humans.
For people who need love and compassion and help and homes. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. And let's put art at the center, because art is a savior and a healer every time.
Yeah, I feel like that's why they attack the arts when they try to do these budget cuts. I feel like they take that away from us to kind of, you know, perpetuate that oppression.
Of course, we don't want them to know too much about their freedom.
No. Now I know we're gonna wrap up in a little bit. I seriously could talk to you all night. But I want to know, being that you traveled the world, kind of like a fun question, like what's your favorite country outside of the US that you got to visit?
Listen, Anthony, these questions, every single one is like,
I want to know these things. I'm curious.
No sauce type questions.
Thank you.
Thank you for this question, because I miss traveling so much right now.
Oh, I know.
I promise you, it brings tears to my eyes every single time I think about it. And I'm like, yo, am I ungrateful? And because I've had a lot of opportunities, am I being like just selfish? Yes. I miss traveling. I want to travel. I want to see people all over the world. I want to meet people. I want to do this thing we do for people, you know, and Portugal.
Portugal?
Yes.
Wow.
Portugal is I don't know. I must be in a past life or actually have some DNA. I don't know. I never did any of that DNA shit, and I'm not going to.
I'm not with that. I feel like they trying to collect that shit to clone us. Like,
I'm not helping you. Fuck out of here.
Like, how they really know this though? Like, come on.
Yeah, they get everything, you know, from our social media. You got enough, you know. Come on, like, you know, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, Portugal, it's in my heart. It's in my heart. I think I'm pretty sure I've done, you know, outside of America, that's the country I've done the most performances in.
Really? Yeah. Wow. So you were out there like more than once.
Oh yeah, I was
Carmen San Diego up in this
all up in the cracks and crevices of Portugal, yo, in people's kitchens and little hidden juke joint type clubs and shit. Look, I did it all.
I love that shit.
I love Portugal. I love the heart, the soul of the people. You know, the Moorish energy, the energy of the Moors is there. So there's a strong African energy there, and they do not really deny it. They may not talk about it all the time, but they carry it around with them, and that's what makes them super, super special.
Oh, that's so dope. I've always wanted to go to Portugal. I haven't had the amazing opportunities to travel the world as much, but listen, as soon as we can, I am ready. like passport in hand, like take me everywhere.
You will. You will. You will. It's cool.
Where's like a country that you would like to go to once all this is over?
Yeah. Okay, let me see. What's the first one? I got a lot. Actually, there, you know what? For real, there's a lot of places I haven't been in America that I'd like to, because the country, the natural, the nature of the country is beautiful. So I really want to see my own country, but
really, like where I always want to go to Grand Canyon.
Yeah, Arizona, New Mexico,
Yeah.
Like Wyoming, places I haven't been that I would really like to see the nature in. But country-wise, Brazil.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes. Well, it makes sense. You love Portugal so much.
We gotta go home. Brazil is a home place for us.
It's facts.
The most, it probably does it still have the most African diaspora people outside of Africa.
Yes.
Brazil, right? I mean, it's just man, so misunderstood, so used and abused, so also celebrated and loved, and it's just so much going on there, so much energy, so much blackness in that place too. Blackness, I mean, like blackness in terms of spirit and soul blackness. You know what I? Yeah. Ooh, I feel it. I feel the.
The goosebumps
standing up on my neck. Oh,
bet. All right. So Brazil, next stop, Brazil. Art house. We art sanctuary house.
I love this. I love all your questions. I love the possibility and the questions that you've asked me. That it has me thinking about like, ooh, okay.
Thank you. Oh, that is like the biggest honor I could actually get is someone like you, a legend, like tell me that I'm asking you great questions. Thank you. I'm like, geeking out right now.
Wow, I'm a fan.
Thanks. So before we say goodbye to everybody, I want to ask you I ask every single guest this question at the end of the show is just any advice, any last gem that you may have that you want to give to the audience for them to walk away with.
Yeah. Don't give up. Don't do it. But if you have to stop something, stop that shit. That's not necessarily giving up. You know what I mean by not giving up. That's different, we know when to leave the party. We got to know when to leave the party. That's a skill we all have to learn. And the party is anything, right? Anything that's going on, like where it's time to shut it down. And that's not giving up. Although some people will tell you that it is. Don't give up on you.
Yeah.
Don't give up on you. Vote and advocate for you. Give you some grace very often, more often than you've been doing it. Okay. Give yourself grace more often than you've been doing it. And then you can give others grace. And then you build your compassionate heart up. And then you have a superpower. And then you golden.
Ooh, superpower. I love it. I'm here for all of that.
Compassionate artists are the best.
Yes.
Compassion, you got to have compassion. You can put your darkness. Look, I put my dark edge, cuss up a storm, cuss people out, but it's compassionate. All my shit, trust.
Yes. Even when I cuss you out, it's compassion. Respectfully. Exactly. So we're getting requests. Yes, we're getting requests for one more poem. Do you have one more in you to share before we say goodbye?
Yeah. I'll just, it's the easy one. I do it all the time. I know.
Yes, I'll take it.
It's so important. And plus we were talking about it. So I'll do the poem Love because we need it all the time. We need it more than ever. And then I was gonna ask you to do a poem, but maybe
shit.
I'll just do Love right quick. On this day, there will be no talk of war, or politics, or disaster, or death. Love is alive today, so we will speak only of love. There will be only love on tongue and lip, and in heart and thought, and it won't be that Hollywood type of love, not TV love, not dime store novel love, and certainly not, absolutely not mainstream music love. Love, love. Love that has been worked on like gardens and term papers. Love that has been nurtured like children and well, like children. Love that falls, crashes even, burns, but dusts off, fixes up and rises, rises, more brilliant than before. Phoenix love. Yes. Phoenix love. So let us speak only of love, healing love, no herbal or over the counter love, real healing love, like God's love, like your mama's love, like your little baby's love, like best friend love, like lovers love, like change the world love, like human love. This is my favorite part. Humans love, love, love soft, love hard, but just love. Don't be afraid to love. Enjoy this new garden. Work on it together and it will be beautiful. It will grow from year to year. It will be perennial. Folks will come from far and wide just to see that John and wish they had it, had this kind of garden, this kind of enjoy this new garden. Work on it together. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to grow from year to year. It's going to be perennial. It's going to win blue ribbons and everything. If you work on it together and put time into it and show up for it, it's going to win blue ribbons and everything. And folks are going to come from far and wide just to see it. And they're going to wish they had it, had this kind of garden, this kind of had this kind of garden, this kind of love. Had this kind of garden, this kind of love. Had this kind of garden, this kind of love, 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 love.
Yes,
That's my shit. That's my shit.
Loves my shit.
Now let's hear a poem from JRose.
Wait. I have to say that you are the first guest to put me on the spot. Like, that is so funny. How do I follow up that?
Following, we doing our shit together. It's a shared bill.
It's a shared bill. Okay, we're gonna split the bill. Got you. I'll do a piece that I wrote about gentrification, since we talked a little bit about that.
Your favorite thing to complain about.
Same. All right. It's titled From Root to Split End. Twisting my curls between his middle and index finger, staring with admiration, he whispers, "I love your hair. It has so much history." Pulls me in closer as I slip into a trance, sinking into the depths of his words. So much history. But my history's buried too deep into the root of every curl, twisted like the past that undoubtedly resides in my double helix. A tangible biography embedded in every strand, telling torn stories of my ancestors from root to split end. My appearance, the blueprint of spilled taíno blood in the saliva of ghostly conquistadores. Hair texture, eye color, complexion, all proof of the encroachment of el puerto de mi matriz rico, the port of my rich womb. Diluted seeds planted into the fruitful wombs of my ancestors, giving birth to what is now a perpetual fight for existence and ongoing battle for acceptance. Like, where do I fit in? Too curly and tan for the white people, but not enough for the Afro-Latinos. I love to say that my curls are the most rambunctious crown I've ever worn, but I didn't always love wearing it, you see. Shame took the wheel and drove me to resentment, embarrassed of how big and wild it looked. Hating how, at times, a simple comb was my most feared nemesis. At times, I felt defeated by its tangled mess. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to tame this? Until there's a job interview or a special occasion, then I don't hesitate to domesticate these feral locks. And although they submit to the heat, these winding warriors don't go down without a fight, just like the lifelong war between my eternal reflection and my compromised lineage. You see, my history is buried too deep. So I dig for what feels like decades, searching for it. Hands bitter and cold from the blood-stained soil, but I keep digging for an identity. I keep digging for a purpose, and all that's left are gentrified fingerprints covered in my ancestors' broken dreams. Like, who am I? Where do I come from? Knowledge of self? How will I ever know of the indigenous queen I was meant to be if our school books tell romanticized stories of false heroes from a Western world? Where is the honor for those that treated the land like the goddess of life, the heroes that grew from the soil? Where are those stories? I'll tell you where they are. They're in you, they're in you, they're in you, and they're in me. Thank you. I just performed for Ursula Rucker.
That was awesome. Oh my God. I felt that. Yo.
Thank you. Thank you. It's actually, I wrote it because somebody really told me that my hair has history in it. And I was like, that's a bar. I was like, I'm gonna build on that. And it really made me think. Like, I never thought about why my appearance is the way it is. You know what I mean? That I never really put that into perspective until they told me that my hair had history, you know?
I love that. I'm gonna send you my my song "Me" from my album She Said, because it was like, because I talk about my hair, but it's like all the story and history, everything in my hair. Yeah.
Oh, yay. Please do send that.
Yeah. We connected.
Listen, it happens. The poetry world brings people together, and I love it. Before we say goodbye, please tell the audience where they could find you. They could follow you on the gram, Facebook, or wherever it is that you want them to find you.
Yeah, just like Ursula Rucker on Facebook, all lowercase for my like regular everyday Facebook, capital first letters for the artist Facebook on Ursula Rucker with capital U, capital R, and then at U Rucker on Instagram and Twitter.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Listen, you never know what's going on, when you pop up for the virtual gigs and stuff that we're all doing. Like, artists give artists some love before I go. JRose, give us some love. Give the artists some love, some compassion, some respect. Hey, look, and if you can, we all struggling and shit, but whenever you can, throw the artists a little bit of money too.
Yes.
I know it's hard though. We all need money, so I wish I could give everybody money. Shit, I wish if I was Jeff Bezos, everybody would be winning out this motherfucker.
That's a fact. Yo, they said that he could end world hunger with a week's worth of his salary.
I promise you, it's my dream, and it's a lot of our dreams. But listen, support the artists, okay? The artists have been working all the time, but especially this year, overtime to help everybody stay up and get through this thing, okay? So, like, don't forget the artists.
No, and when that book is back for you, release it again because it's sold out.
Big Small Poems for Pockets, Haikus by Ursula Rucker. Stay tuned because the second run printing is going to be coming, and you got to get yours.
Listen, sold out in 8 hours. So, sis, I need that like morning text, like before. So I'm ready.
Yeah, I got you. Next time I got you.
Thank you. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in.
Amazing. Look, the talk show is the bomb. Tune in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Guys, make sure you follow us, Rose Garden Events. You already know what it is. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm your host, JRose. You can follow me at My Crumbled Thoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in. The replay will be on Facebook and YouTube and eventually on IGTV. I got to get to it. I'm dealing with a lot, so be patient with me.
Grace for all.
Absolutely. We're going to say good night. Ursula, do not leave the studio so I can say goodbye to you backstage. And those of you, peace out. And like I always say, keep growing, guys. Peace.